Northeast 36th Street and Prospect Avenue is home to the infamous Sooner Haven Apartments. By day, this complex might seem like just another ordinary apartment community in Oklahoma, but when the sun goes down, it becomes a whole different story.
Yeah, people who live and work in this area are on high alert this morning. That's because the search for a killer is still ongoing. Someone took out a gun and shot two people at the Sooner Haven Apartments. One person died at the apartments. The other died later on at a hospital. Right now, we don't know how many people were involved or if there's more than one gunman, but police were out here late last night interviewing a lot of witnesses in the area. In fact, at one point, they closed the gates to the apartments and let no one in or out.
New details coming out in an unsolved Northeast Oklahoma City double murder investigation.
A man and woman were shot to death at the Sooner Haven Apartments.
The Oklahoma City Housing Authority confirmed the 44 cameras on the property were not working the night of the murders.
Breaking news. Two people shot in Northeast Oklahoma City.
McIntyre Law Chopper 4 pilot Mason Dunn is live over the scene near 33rd and Kelly. Mason.
In the area, there are spots of gang activity in the general area, yes, there are.
What about this complex?
This complex, some people say yes, some people say no.
The Sooner Haven Apartments is an old apartment complex in Northeast Oklahoma City, built in 1970. Over time, it got small repairs, but those small repairs turned into bigger problems. Later on, these problems started to affect the very people who live there. Like the recent event where all 44 cameras in the complex mysteriously stopped working just as a resident was fatally killed outside the premises. At one point, the Sooner Haven Apartments made efforts to address these issues, but unfortunately, the complex was unable to resolve them effectively. The government has a rule called Section 18 to help really bad buildings, but Sooner Haven didn't qualify. So, the city tried to switch it to a different program called Section 8 to get money for repairs. They also tried to get extra funding from a tax credit program, but it still wasn't enough. Because the rules required major repairs, they had to find another way to fix the apartments. But while a solution was found for the time being, the apartments had already been plagued by gangs and severely impacted by the rise of Los Angeles gangs in Oklahoma City during the 1980s, making it nearly impossible to resolve. One of the gangs responsible for chaos in the streets of Oklahoma City are the 107 Hoover Crips, a Los Angeles-based subset of the Crips that arrived on the city's east side around 1988. At that time, the Hoovers still operated under the Crip identity, at least outside of Los Angeles. However, over the past couple of decades, the younger generation of Hoovers in Pitts Park has transitioned to the criminal identity, while their counterparts in Los Angeles have reverted to the Crip identity. But despite this shift, the Hoovers continue to push the Crip killer mentality in both states. This is evident with younger members adopting names like CK Lay, where CK stands for Crip Killer, a title earned by attacking or retaliating against their rivals, the Fawn-Shill Gangster Crips and the Neighborhood Crips. These gangs have alliances, known as love sets, where two or more gangs unite to strengthen their position against rivals. The Neighborhood Crips have formed several of these alliances, including one with the Fawn-Shill Gangster Crips and other Neighborhood Crip sets like the Squeeze Team. But this Squeeze Team should not be confused with the one in Tulsa, which consists of both Red Mob Gangster Bloods and Neighborhood Crips. In response, the Hoovers have formed their own alliances, like the Homie Gang and the Shottyverse, which unites the Shotgun Crips and the Hoovers. However, these alliances have caused internal conflicts, both within Pitts Park and the Shotgun Crips, as they frequently form and break apart, with some claiming the Shotgun Crips have been aligning with the Fawn-Shill Gangster Crips, causing tensions with the Pitts Park Hoovers. But the Hoovers aren't entirely innocent either, as some of their younger members have been seen aligning with a rival of the Shotgun Crips, the North Highlands Pyrus. This demonstrates that disloyalty isn't one-sided and can occur within any set, and as a result, this has led to conflicts not only between the love sets, but also within the Hoover gang itself. With internal disputes among different cliques, it is rumored that these tensions are connected to some of the recent shootings on the east side, with the most recent shooting occurring today, March 27, 2025, at a known stronghold for the Hoovers. According to News 4, police reported that 3 individuals were injured in the incident. One victim sustained a graze wound and was treated at the scene, while 2 others were transported to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Authorities have taken multiple suspects into custody and are still searching for one remaining individual. This has led some to believe the shooting may have stemmed from internal conflict within the Hoovers, particularly involving a faction known as the Trey 6 Hoovers. This group operates under the Pitts Park Hoover banner, drawing their name from the Sooner Haven's apartments at the intersection of 36th and Prospect. But with the shooter on the run, a nearby school has gone into lockdown, and residents remain on high alert as police continue to surveil the area, something they must do frequently. 11 years ago, on October 24, 2013, City Councilman John Pettis Jr. attempted to address South Haven's crime problem by proposing a Department of Corrections substation on the property. At the time, the area had seen 412 violent incidents in a year, including several shootings. However, for unknown reasons, the initiative proved unsuccessful. The most alarming incident occurred when all 44 cameras were out of service, during which a resident was tragically murdered. The suspect was never found due to the lack of surveillance footage.
New details coming out in an unsolved Northeast Oklahoma City double murder investigation.
A man and woman were shot to death at the Sooner Haven Apartments a little over a week ago, and so far no one has been arrested. Our News 9 crime tracker Jennifer Pierce is live at police headquarters with details we're getting from a search warrant.
Amanda, homicide investigators noted in a search warrant 8 spent shell casings were found inside the apartment and they swabbed for DNA. Now, investigators also found some other small items possibly belonging to the 2 victims. Camera footage from Kermit Campbell's family's apartment shows the final hours of his life. Police say Campbell and an unidentified woman were killed inside an apartment at the Sooner Haven complex last Sunday. Campbell's father, Kermit Spurlock, didn't know the woman his son was with.
But I like to pray for her too. I mean, I'd never seen her lady. I asked questions about it. They told me they can't give me that information.
Spurlock also waits for answers on who may be responsible for the deaths. The investigation is ongoing, but difficult due to a camera outage at the complex.
So this raises the question, are these just random acts of violence occurring in the apartment complex, or are they part of a deeper internal conflict within the Hoover gang? A possible case of members backdooring each other, a term used to describe betraying members of the same gang or clique. Notably, even members online have expressed their opinions about some of the newer recruits in the Pitts Park Hoovers. For example, a top figure in the Hami gang, known as Hami Vibe, has openly criticized the Pitts Park area. He has accused it of being overrun with rats and gang members, unwilling to ride for the Hoover gang, suggesting that some instead align with rivals against their own. He has even gone so far as to disrespect the very area he claims, referring to it as Poodle Park, and referring to himself as a real pit, paying homage to his roots in Pitts Park, using the breed of dog as a symbol. But despite his claim of having that dog in him, one thing is evident. This has weakened the 107 Pitts Park Hoovers, making their rivals see them as a less powerful force. But while many may place the blame on the Young Life's members of Pitts Park, the older generation, including Walter Landon, also known as Big Lucky 7, has a notorious backdoor reputation, with alleged stories circulating about him being responsible for the deaths of several Hoover gang members, demonstrating that the greatest threat to the Hoovers comes from within their own house. While some view Pitts Park and the Sooner Haven Apartments as a promising community for lower-income families striving to make a better life, others see it for what it truly is, a breeding ground for fierce shooters and potential Hoover gang killers in the making.
The shooting at an apartment complex. Eyewitness News 5's Melissa Newton is at Northeast 36th and Prospect. Melissa, what can you tell us at this time?
Well, guys, investigators are out here on the scene of what appears to be a shooting. This is the Sooner Haven apartment complex, and what we can tell you right now is neighbors here in this apartment complex said they heard gunshots about 20 minutes ago. At this time, we don't know if anyone is injured or what would have sparked a shooting, but like we said earlier, investigators are out here on the scene. We're about to go talk to them and hopefully bring you more information as it becomes available. We just spoke with police a few minutes ago, and they tell us they received a call from a possible victim who says he was robbed and shot inside this apartment complex. However, when they contacted him, he was actually walking away from the apartment complex. He did have a gunshot wound on him, but police are not saying where he was shot or what may have been taken. One reason they have this area taped off could possibly be, if you look over to the left, you can see a white shirt laying on the ground. Police say that appears to have blood on it. They also found a pair of keys, or a set of keys, laying on the ground in that same area. They're not releasing any information on any possible suspects at this time, or a possible suspect description. We did speak to some neighbors out here. They tell us that they heard some fighting going on shortly before they heard a gunshot.
Thank you for watching another episode of Hood 187. If you're interested in an upcoming gang documentary I'm working on, focusing on the neighborhood Crips of Oklahoma, join the membership to get exclusive early access and watch it a full day before its official release.